Hey traders, checking in on the stock market today. So after a one-day breather, the bulls are back in complete control. Can we keep going? We'll look back at some historical examples of similar price action in the recent past and what happened as a result of that. And we'll check in on the metals, which have made a significant shift on the daily time frame for the bulls. So today was the first day that I actually didn't place a trade in a long time, out doing other things, but I can see the bulls picked up where they left off with follow through. Strong close at the all-time high. We'll look at SPY after the one day, little pullback just barely into continuation. And okay, we're extended, but let's look back at the recent past, the S&P 500 futures chart and the daily time frame. I'm looking back at right here, which was back in the summer, June, July, August. So what stands out to me here is notable consolidation. Notable consolidation. We then see a big solid bull move up. It feels like we're just going up every day. And then we pull back for a little pullback, or a couple day pullback. So big time bull move up, few day pullback. And then we just had our 12 days in a row for the bulls. Let's look back here. What did the next 12 days do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That would put us right here. So let's just zoom in and pretend that that is now. And we say, okay, big bull move. Bull's getting a little tired. Daily bull flag and continuation. Can we keep going up? This is getting a bit extended, a bit insane. More and more and more and more and more and more. So the point here is it can keep going up. That doesn't mean it will keep going up, but just stop telling yourself that we're too extended to keep going up, because we're just seeing the rotation game, and the healthcare sector broke out in a big way to all-time highs today. And again, we just stair-stepped up, and then we had a climax blow-off top. So if we were going to see a similar climax blow-off top, we're going to have to go up faster and harder than we currently have been. The daily RSI here got up to 82. The daily RSI right now is 75. So if we're going to see the same thing, we need to start turning on the turbo boosters for a 4 or 5 day surge up, and then we'll start talking about a climax blow-off top. We have the financial sector getting through 2 solid days of earnings. They're holding on just fine. A little bit of consolidation there, but still right at the all-time high. And again, just no signs of weakness. The weak names are staying weak. The solar names, the EV names, aside from Tesla, the MJ sector, they're all staying weak. We're not seeing money rotate into them as big tech and many other places are remaining strong. So if we want a short-term support level for SPY, we're looking at 410.87. But again, if we break 410.87, I'm not going to say the daily uptrend is lost. I'm pretty much going to say we haven't started daily consolidation since 383.90. The NASDAQ, so very brief pullback and a daily inside bar today. And bulls keeping their control. QQQ hit a new all-time high, so I liked my hedge in QQQ yesterday, and today obviously that didn't help me much. But the hedge is serving its purpose. My account was up by doing nothing, and it was protected against any pullback. The metals helped it go up faster, I should say go up more than my SQQQ position held it back. But the point of the hedge is I want my account to stay right where it is when I'm not trading. And that's what it did today. So we'll be looking at QQQ's short-term support level of 335.67, a more notable support level than SPY just because it was a bit more notable as far as a pullback. But again, the bulls are in full control. IWM, still range-bound. So the most important levels from here, this is the 2-day chart, the most important levels are 219, make that 218.83, and resistance of 226.69. We've been trading within this range now for the last 9 days, more than that, 10 days, 11 days, and we're just waiting for a break, one direction or the other. We're either going to act as laggards and bull break to test the all-time high, or we're going to fail resistance and bear break, which won't have a huge impact on the broader market. But if we break bullish, again, we just point to rotation and say, oh, there's profits going to the smaller caps now. Financial sector, again, earnings reactions. Bulls are just fine. Short-term support is 34.78 and a daily inside bar today. We'll see if we can get a new all-time high. If we lose that 34.78 level, we zoom out and we scout a weekly high or low compared to 33. So there's your healthcare sector big bull move. We had, not sure, it's not a good cup and handle example, but again, I look to the psychology. I look to a key resistance level that's clear in an uptrend. I look for healthy consolidation and an inability to break that resistance, and then a bull flag. And that's what we had. We double topped at the all-time high, rejected by $1. We pulled back, and it just formed this little equilibrium, and then the bulls have turned it on again for the last 5 days. And it's now the healthcare sector's bulls leading the way, at least for today. On my screen, they were up a bit more than QQQ. And again, tons of space for a daily high or low in the healthcare sector. Biotech sector, not much going on for the bulls today. A little bit of follow through in the morning. But if the low of today breaks tomorrow, a new daily lower high has been set. Keeping in mind, we are still in a daily downtrend, and it is up to the bulls to prove the trend change to us. So if we break support of 133.09, it's then up to the bulls to hold the 126 double bottom and change the daily trend. Still skeptical of the bulls until they prove it. Semiconductors, still a bull flag, keeping it alive here. And again, it's the same thing as the healthcare sector for me as far as the setup here, where we have the all-time high, a pullback, we make our way back to the all-time high and reject. Now we're bull flagging. If rotation's going to continue, we're going to look for a big-time new all-time high, just like XLV. If you are trading the cryptocurrency space or watching it, you're seeing the same thing going on at a much more fervorous pace, where it is just profits are flying around. This coin's running really wild. Then we're going to this coin. This coin's been consolidating for a few days. We're going over here. This one's been consolidating for 2 weeks. It's turned to run. All-time highs here, all-time highs there. It's just euphoria, and that can keep up for a while. We know euphoria ends generally hard and fast, but I made a tweet today, and my point was the bears are not sneaky in the broader market. They can be fast and hard, absolutely, but their tracks are very easily recognizable. All major sectors at the low at the same time. Notable bear volume. Have to have those two things to see a fast, hard drop in the broader market. So that will be the clear telltale sign. Okay, things are different, and maybe a little climax euphoria top has been set. But right now, the broader market is just a mini version of the massive euphoria in the crypto space. And keeping an eye on both. I would not be surprised to see both temporary top out at the same time, but I'm well aware that that could be weeks away. Certainly not going to try and pick tops in a blue sky breakout market. TAN, still weak. So again, watching for the rotation into these names, and we're not getting it. We saw it in Tesla. Tesla had a little bit of a sentiment shift, a correlation shift with QQQ, and there were nice gains off that trade. I was looking for something similar to happen everywhere in the Biden sectors and in the biotech sector. We got it in Tesla and the biotech sector to a small degree, but not in solar, not in every other EV name, which is still very weak, and not in the MJ sector. So still keeping an eye out for it, but again, these names have a ton of proving to do, and I am not cutting these bulls any slack, because if we are not going up when the market is in a bit of euphoria mode, what happens when the market pulls back? And that's what a lot of people are cautious of in these names still. So TAN is heading down to 8107 support. It has to hold. Otherwise, the low of consolidation is upon us. MSOS, same deal. 3880. A lot of people looking for a potential bill being introduced on 420 from Schumer. Something to be watching for. If we were crushed next Monday, I might make a little entry and then just sell a little news pop if we do get a bill filed in the Senate or Congress or wherever it's going to be filed. But we're extremely weak. And again, at this point, I have minimal exposure, not even worth mentioning in MSOS, just enough for me to keep my eye on it. But I know that the summers generally do not favor the MJ space, and that is a seasonality cycle that's been going back 10 years from when I started trading. Summers are dull, fall and winters are hot because of voting season, and I'm well aware that we could pull back for multiple months. And all you got to do is pull up some of these MSOs and look back to previous summer months, April, May, June, July, August. All red. Doesn't mean it's going to be all red this time around, but aware of that seasonality and just not entering into weakness for me personally, being very patient. The VIX. So the VIX is an inside bar. We dropped down to 1540. We're approaching that base of 13s. That's the next zone we're watching. And we know that if we do not break 1790, the bulls prove absolutely nothing. And we've been setting daily lower highs for the last couple weeks. The dollar. 4-hour downtrend remains. We're leveling out a bit. Again, just absolutely expecting a bounce here in the near term. But bulls have been struggling really hard for it. We will be looking for a daily lower high, and we will measure the size of the retracement on the bounce that's going to tell us equilibrium or bear flag. We would have to bounce over the 382 retracement and back up into the 9230s and beyond if we were going to start looking for an equilibrium to be the most likely result. And metals bulls like myself want to see this bounce fail the 382 retracement and bear flag for a lower low, setting the monthly lower high. The metals confirm daily trend changes. It's a good step in the right direction. It increases the odds that a longer term momentum shift is taking place, but all it has me do is zoom out to the longer term time frame and say, okay, great job, bulls. You proved it on the daily. Now prove it to me on the weekly, or prove it to me on the monthly. So pleased with the continuation. We're looking up at 1816 as the next major resistance level. I zoom out to the weekly. I see, okay, double bottom, and we broke the lower highs. Good sign for the bulls. Zoom out to the monthly, and I know that the most likely scenario is a monthly lower high, anything under 1960. Tons of space for that monthly lower high. The bulls are hoping for a big enough monthly bounce to set up a trend change attempt eventually. And we're talking summer and fall. For that, we want to see these bulls bounce through the summer for a few green months in a row to create that space for a higher low to be able to form once we top out. We don't want a weak bounce that can drop to a lower low after RSI levels are cooled off on the weekly time frame, which they certainly are at this point. More follow through is needed. Bottom line, it's a good start. Silver, same deal. Daily trend changed. 2664 is the next resistance level. Just zooming out because anything under 2664 is a weekly lower high. The monthly looks good on silver, certainly much better than gold. It's in an uptrend. Well, gold gave us that lower high and lower low. Yep. But silver didn't. So you show me those two monthly charts, and I would much rather be in silver than gold. EMA 12 support. Yes, there's a double top, but double top rejection is just leading to a higher low attempt. If we were to fail resistance and then lose the higher lows, that would be a huge red flag for me, and I would exit my positions. But inside bar at the moment, daily trend change confirmed, weekly resistance coming into play. Miners, beautiful follow through. Metals getting their daily trend changes. We know we needed that for another leg up on the miners, and the fact that the S&P 500 is strong while that's happening adds some extra booster fuel for the bulls. So we zoom out to the weekly. We changed the weekly trend on the miners already, so we zoom out to the monthly. Anything under 3901 is a monthly lower high, and it's the same deal. We have to see a big enough bounce to create the space for a monthly higher low to form once we top out to try and set up a monthly trend change back to the bulls. Oil, a little bit of follow through, not much. The bulls broke out yesterday, establishing support. Short term, we're looking at 62.53 on the 4-hour. And again, the next major resistance is up near the highs here. 66.44, 67.79. Natural gas, breaking resistance of 2655. So now we zoom out to the weekly. Weekly, bear flag, confirmed with zero follow through. Weekly lower high broken. Let's go to the monthly. And you can see whenever we change a trend on a smaller time frame, zoom out to the next level. Because I can't tell you how often you'll change a 5-minute trend, but zooming out to the 15-minute, you know you're just looking for a lower high. And that happens on the longer term time frames as well. So having that habit of saying, okay, check mark accomplished. I know we needed this trend change to happen. It did. Zoom out. What is the most likely scenario from here? So natural gas trying to set a monthly higher low. but we will certainly need more follow through from here. We'll need a confirmed weekly trend change because, again, this is coming off of a lower low. So bulls are hoping for enough follow through to create the space for a weekly trend change to try and eventually take place. Keeping in mind, we haven't changed the daily trend yet. I don't consider that a trend change. It was just a 4-hour pullback for a higher low. Not a clear enough pivot for me. I wouldn't argue with someone who said, yeah, that's a daily trend change. I'd say, okay, that's your style. If it works for you, great. But for me, coming from a month-long daily downtrend, I need more of a clear pivot than that to call it a clear daily trend change. So that is where we stand. No trading for me today. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Bulls are in complete control. There are plenty of weak names out there. Play the weak names bearish, play the strong names bullish is a mantra from the last couple of weeks that has been very useful. And this morning, just a quick example, NIO was dropping this morning. And a member said, hey, the hourly RSI is about to hit oversold. Should we be looking for a bounce? And that was at 9:50 a.m. And my response was, NIO is extremely weak. It's been showing us that it has been extremely weak for 2 weeks now. Let's believe what is being shown to us. I believe that it's weak because that's what it keeps showing us. And then I also look back and historically, I can see that the hourly RSI just a week ago dropped down to 20. And then a few weeks ago, it dropped down to 15. So I can say that hourly RSI in a week daily chart, hourly RSI hitting oversold on a name with that kind of historical reference means nothing to me because we can drop another 10 points on that RSI very easily. And we did end up dropping a significant amount lower. That question was asked of me right around here, and we dropped another 2% lower. And my answer was, if I were looking for a bounce, I would be scouting Tesla. Tesla showed us bullish action. It proved it to us a few days ago. We're looking for a daily higher low. We're in a daily uptrend. So I would much rather, if I'm looking for a bounce, I would much rather play the stronger name bullish. And again, this is where that question was asked. Play the stronger name bullish. Play the weaker names bearish. Okay. And have a good day. And do good things. We'll see you tomorrow.